perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. 813-750-0550. You can call or text that line. It's an off-air number. 813-750-0550. Check out consumerqb.com as well. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can see previous show episodes in case you miss them. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to connect with you there as well. We've got almost 100,000 views on our videos, over 1,000 great videos full of consumer advocate content as well on YouTube. So we'd love to have you check it out. Subscribe. Brandon Rhymes Realty is the name of the channel. And this segment is brought to you by Discovery Golf Cars, a.k.a. Golf Cart Depot. Longtime friends of the program. They've got some great golf carts available over there as well for recreation or business use. Seems like everybody's getting a golf cart these days. It's a lot of fun, lots of makes and models. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman, and they offer pre-owned or brand new golf cars available. And let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers. Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we've got our friend Gregg BOWMAN back in studio. Welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, Brandon. It's great to be here.
AC guy of Tampa Bay.
Yep.
In the house.
Actually starting to warm up maybe just a little bit out there today. It's been really nice for a while.
We were talking to Clyde Smith, general manager, Biltmore Beach Resort. He said, man, we got 7 days of sunshine here and 70 degrees. It makes you think. I think I got a button for that one, too. By the way. Sunny and 75. Yeah, so what a great time to be in Tampa Bay. Such demand in the real estate market. I'm sure you're seeing that trickle down into your industry too.
Most definitely, yeah. It's been a good start to the year.
Yeah, what a great place to be, live, work, and play. The economy's doing well. There's of course, we do have some challenges, transportation and things of that nature. It's not all, perfect. But, what a great place you look at. We just got TripAdvisor came out and said St. Pete Beach, one of the top beaches in the world again.
Right.
Clearwater Beach is a great place to live, work, and play. But you've got a great new program available as well now, because some people look at, they may not have insurance, the proper insurance. If lightning strikes or something happens to their AC, that's a big expenditure sometimes, probably somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000 roughly, just depending. But you have a leasing program now that might open that up and make it more affordable for people.
Yeah, correct. We're actually technically it's not available till April 1st, but yes, it's going to be available starting April 1st. That for a nominal low monthly fee, you can have everything covered. Basically, put a new system in and have 10 years of maintenance covered, as well as any breakdowns or repairs that are necessary over that 10-year lease program.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a great option to allow you to budget, and spread. If you don't have the cash up front, which it is a very big expense now. The average cost is actually around between $7,000 and $8,000 on a replacement air conditioner.
Right. Yeah.
So if you don't have $7,000 to $8,000 sitting around, it gives you some ability to budget and spread that out and be able to get it taken care of.
Yeah, and even if you do, if you have $8,000 to $10,000 in your bank account, you never really want to push all that out into a big
out.
Yeah,
correct.
You want to have some emergency fund.
Yeah, it allows you in the same situation. If you have an emergency expense come up, you don't have to wipe that out. You can, and it's a no money down lease situation. So it's
that's pretty cool.
You just got to get a credit approval on it, and then basically what happens is the manufacturer buys the installation back from us. So we buy the equipment from them, install it, and then they buy it back and lease it to the homeowner, and then cover everything from that point.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
an
nice
interesting
program.
way to look at it. And what I'm thinking, I start thinking about these real estate deals where you have, the AC, they do the inspection. I always tell my sellers, first of all, let me back up. I'm listing a property. I'm putting it on the market. We're getting ready to go to market. I say, okay, let's do a 4-point inspection. Mm-hmm. Okay, we get our friend Jay Smith, A-Snoop inspection involved. We'll get a simple little 4-point done. It's going to check the plumbing, the roof, the electrical, the AC, your major 4 components for the property. And by the way, it only costs you $125. Do you want to do it? A lot of times they don't. And I'm like, well, why would we not want to know what the buyer is going to find out before he does.
Right,
and
it complicates the sale after the fact, yeah.
And then what happens is, 15 days later, 10 days later, it's, well, this came in and the inspection, these inspectors, man, these inspectors are hard on our properties. And that's the challenge that you have.
Right.
But sometimes it's a roof, sometimes it's an AC.
Right.
And then if they don't have a properly running AC, or they can't estimate a certain amount of life left on the machine, then they look at it as a deficiency to the contract, and there's challenges in place. Mm-hmm. So would this leasing program maybe be an option at that point? And because you're going to talk about owner A and owner B at some point.
It is transferable if you could work that out in a sales contract, Right. I mean, if the seller purchased it under a lease program and wanted to transfer it to the buyer, they could do that. The only other way to handle it would be to for the seller, once they sell the property, to pay off the lease and close out the lease if the buyer doesn't want to assume the lease. But once the lease is initiated, everything's covered for that 10-year period. So even if the buyer would even if the seller would decide to that the buyer didn't want to take over the lease and the seller's just going to pay it off, they would be turning over a system to the buyer that has 10 years of coverage with it. So once it's set up,
10-year coverage on these machines.
Correct. Yeah, everything. Parts, labor, maintenance, filters, everything is covered. It's a pretty neat deal to have everything bundled like that.
That is. Yeah. Talk about bundling it.
Yeah.
We're talking with Gregg BOWMAN here, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, longtime friend of the program. And just a true professional in the business. And you look at when there's so many out there that aren't, any industry, you look at good, better, and best. What are some of the latest, we always talk about scams and tricks that people have, homeowners, and I'm sure we talked about them before on the shows, but, sometimes, and I've heard, people come out and, you got to have a brand new machine, you need all new everything. And then you go in and you look at it, sometimes it just needed a couple little pieces that could potentially make it last. You see that happen from time to time?
Yeah, we find all the time we're going behind things like that where, it might have been a minor repair that was all that was needed. It basically boils down to just, you got to know who you're dealing with and know that they're trustworthy and reliable.
Right.
That you're dealing with a legitimate company. A lot of what we see in this industry is technicians who have worked for other companies and decide, I'm going to open up my own shop and make lots of money because that's what the boss does.
Exactly.
And they go into it with no idea of what really is involved. So they think they can sell it at a lower price. They'll come in and they'll sell it at a lower price than what a professional company is doing. But then they'll find out all those other hidden expenses that they didn't account for start creeping up. And then they don't have a way to actually make money at the price they're trying to sell it for. So they either end up cutting corners or going out of business. So in both cases, the homeowner's the one who loses. They've gotten somebody to put it in who didn't do it professionally, didn't do it right, may no longer be in business, so there's no recourse to go back against them. So it's just really important to make sure that with any contractor that you're dealing with, that you know who you're dealing with, that it's a legitimate business with a good reputation. So you're protecting yourself from those kind of things.
Yeah, because you see that play out in a lot of different industries. I've had it happen in the past with some of my other companies I own previous. But you go from a technician and you know the business and you just say, oh wow, this is easy, I can do this, right? And then what happens? You underestimate the administration costs, the accounting, the bookkeeping, the human resources, the accounts receivable, accounts paying, and now all of a sudden you're not just a tech. But now you're a business owner, and you got all these challenges, and you got all the legal and all the fun stuff lying on your shoulders. And then, unfortunately, from the scenarios that we see play out, is you go out to that homeowner, and now you're giving, you got commission breath coming out. You got commission breath and sales breath coming out. Well, I got to sell this lady a $5,000 or $8,000 machine, whereas I probably could have replaced this capacitor or whatever. And I could have, made her, work for another 3 to 5 years. Who knows, right?
Right. Yeah, it's something that you got to really be aware of and protect yourself against, and just get some, second opinions. Don't necessarily go with the first quote that you're given. Check it out, make sure you know who you're dealing with.
That's right.
We always say that if the price is too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Right.
If you are really getting such a great deal, that's when you really got to be on guard.
So that leasing program, that's a pretty cool thing that you can do. You're gonna instead of buying it outright, putting all that money outlay up front, you're going to lease it. And then you mentioned that it covers for 10 years. You got your filters, your maintenance, all that covered. And then you also have another plan, which we're signed up on. Is it your platinum plan?
Our VIP program, correct. Yeah, our VIP program is our maintenance routine where we're taking care of the maintenance for you. So on the leasing program, you wouldn't need to be VIP with us. You'd be covered by the maintenance program on the lease. But yeah, for those who are not in that, we do have our VIP program where we come out twice a year and do the maintenance on your system, make sure everything's working the way it should, clean the coils, clean that drain, make sure that's not going to be an issue. And we do that all for $14 a month. But then there's some other benefits that come along with that. First of all, if you're on a good maintenance program like that, you're really not paying for that maintenance. You're transferring the costs that you would be paying the power company if you weren't doing maintenance.
Yeah.
There's lots of studies that show that there's probably savings of about 15 to 20% per year in energy use by doing a good maintenance routine on your air conditioner. So if your power bill was even 10% higher, probably even less than that, it would be equal to the cost of our preventive maintenance program, our VIP program. So by doing that program, you're basically doing it for free. You're just transferring it to the cost from the power company to us, and then getting the maintenance that your system needs, as well as some discounts. If you need after-hours service, it's no extra charge. If you need any additional repairs, it's a 20% discount. So it's a great program to kind of help with that maintenance and keeping your system running the way it should.
Yeah, and that's important. And I also like to talk about we've got Gregg BOWMAN, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, here in studio, folks, and supporting the local economy, local business owners like Gregg and his team, family-owned business. His daughter runs the office, I believe, right?
Right. Yeah, Jordan's our office manager. Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
So when you look at I love when you talk about the EPA as well, because you follow some of those studies. The EPA does studies on indoor air quality. Tell us some of the latest stuff that you've seen.
For 20 years, probably the EPA has been telling us that the air inside our homes is on average 5 times more polluted than outdoor air. So, and it's only gotten worse as we've built our homes better and better. We've made our homes tighter and tighter to make them more energy efficient. But by making them tighter, we're trapping pollutants and stale air inside our homes. So treating that air is very important. There's lots of solutions to that. They range from opening a window. That's an easy thing you can do, just venting the house yourself, getting some fresh air in the house. Then there are different devices that can be installed along with your air conditioning system to treat that air, from the ultraviolet light products to media filtration. Some of the more sophisticated things there is what has sometimes been called the perfect window. It's an energy recovery ventilator. It basically brings in fresh air and then vents out, air from the house back outside. And when the air streams pass each other, it transfers the heating and cooling back and forth. So you're not bringing in heat from outside or cold from outside, but you are bringing fresh air in. So
that's pretty cool.
That's a great way to vent the house and not have to open a window to do it.
I wonder if studies would show, if you look at, because Florida, obviously we have more rain here. So when that rain's falling from the sky, it's probably grabbing dust particles and pollutants and kind of pushing it into the soil, somewhat cleaning the air. It
is really nature's way of cleaning the air. Yes,
right.
A thunderstorm is probably one of the best things for the air, because the lightning does the same thing that the UV lights are doing in a home. When we're trying to treat the air in the home, they're cleaning the air, scrubbing it of bacteria and viruses, and the rain falling through the sky does the same thing. It's cleaning pollen out of the air, dust out of the air, and cleaning it. So a storm is really nature's air cleaner, basically.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, it is.
Yeah, you think about that. I mean, it's all a great design by the creator there, and then you flushing it through, so the water's getting flushed through the soil going into the aquifer, so it's a great system that's in place.
Correct. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating if you really look at how our whole ecosystem works. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah, it really is. Absolutely. All right, Gregg, coming into our final thoughts here, what are some other misnomers or maybe some top tips that you may have for homeowners?
The most important tip I would give is just making sure you're getting maintenance done on your air conditioning. People don't realize how hard our air conditioners work. In Florida, we run them about 3,000 hours a year.
Wow, 3,000
You know, if you would compare that to a car that you were driving just 25 miles per hour for 3,000 hours, that's 75,000 miles that you'd put on that car. If you drove a car for 75,000 miles, you'd think about some maintenance, about getting the oil changed, about changing tires, about doing quite a few things to that car. And a lot of times we don't think about that. Our air conditioner needs that maintenance too. As long as it's heating and cooling, we're happy. We forget about it. It's, you know, hopefully tucked away where we don't see it behind bushes or whatever. It just got to keep us cool. But it is working hard for us. So that's what our VIP program's all about. It's, you know, basically giving your air conditioner some love so it can love you back and keep you cool. So that would be the most important thing I think anybody could do, is just making sure that they're doing that maintenance.
AC Guy of Tampa Bay, acguyoftampabay.com.
acguyoftampa.com.
Tampa.com, that's right. acguyoftampa.com. Check him out online. ConsumerQB.com, of course, as well. You can see his previous episodes on our show. You can see his announcement card at ConsumerQB.com. All right, Greg, thanks so much, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. It's good
Appreciate
to be
you coming in.
Thanks.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with Chris Robinson about Face Cabinetry. Chris is a renovation expert. He's done his own flips for years, and he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge when it comes to real estate renovations and some of the cool things that he can do as well with just about Face Cabinetry. Half the cost, half the time, half the mess. Also, coming up later in the show, Brandon Faust, Mold Zero here in studio. Plus, our feel-good story of the day coming right up as well. A couple hosts delivery driver for 5 days after her car got stuck in the snow. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing. We always feature our real estate listings live on air on our show as well. I've got some hot property listings here in Tampa Bay. 1010 Bay Esplanade. This one's on Clearwater Beach, Millionaires Row, surrounded by millionaires. Great place to live. One of the hottest zip codes in all of Tampa Bay is that North Clearwater Beach area. 1010 Bay Esplanade, Clearwater Beach, 3,200 square feet, just shy of 3,200 square feet. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage. My favorite part of this home is you have your own private sun deck overlooking the intercoastal waterways and, of course, the Gulf of Mexico, the dolphin-filled waters and sugar sand beaches of Clearwater Beach, just minutes away, just a quick walk away from your new vacation spot at 1010 Bay Esplanade, Clearwater Beach. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And we are back here in studio. Chris Robinson is joining us as well. About Face Cabinetry. Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, it was always great to be with you.
Yeah, man. Good
All
to
right,
see you.
you too.
So you got some. You mentioned you got some of your deal. Like that's the cool thing about Chris is he's not only has a business where he's doing About Face Cabinetry, helping people, but he's actually a real estate investor, getting out there making deals happen.
Yeah.
You had mentioned a little bit about some of your land banking that you're doing. I mean, some pretty cool stuff, man.
Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. And that's kind of how this all genesis is. As being a real estate investor, I had to find different and unique ways of saving money instead of coming in and gutting and then making nothing at the end of it.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
we definitely want to focus in our business on helping that investor. So if you're listening today to the show, give us a call and or get on our website and see if we can't come by and just see what you got going on and see what we can help and give you some ideas. Even if it's something that we can't do for you, we can definitely always advise you of some people you might want to talk with. But in the cabinetry world, what we found out was that most of the cabinet structures are pretty good. You might have a rotted sink base that needs to be pulled out, and you guys are definitely going to want to make sure we got mold tested by our good buddy Brandon Foss and make sure that's all taken care of. But definitely want to be able to reface these cabinets instead of replacing them, because you're just going to save a ton of money, a ton of time. Our tagline is half the cost, half the time, half the mess.
Yeah.
We're in and out of most people's houses in less than 5 days from start to finish. All new cabinetry look with countertops, electrical, and plumbing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you get right back on the market for a real estate agent. We always think about, how long we're off the market if in a scenario like that comes out, or even if it's an expired, they say, I heard we should take it off for 61 days. It's going to reset the days on market. Right now in this market, I would not suggest taking a home off the market. I mean, it's just so hot. You're going to be missing opportunities.
Absolutely. And most of us, we're going to be shopping online anyway.
Yeah.
So if your pictures are not quite lining up with what people are looking for, sometimes that might get overlooked.
Yeah.
And people, they understand that they're looking at your house, but they're looking at your house online. And when they grace your doorstep, it's now they want to know details.
Yeah.
So they've already figured out, schools. They've already figured out where their kids are going to go, where they're going to go to church. What's that all about? Now they want to get in the house to see what they've got to do. I'll give you a perfect example. As I was just talking with Ray, our appraiser.
Yep.
And I was talking with him. He's like, I got this house and it's got espresso cabinets and I want to get rid of that color and I want to make it white.
Yeah.
And your alternatives are to paint it, do a paint job, which isn't going to last. Most of these guys are only doing 1 year. We're the only company that offers a lifetime warranty on our service.
Wow. Lifetime
Warranty on any delamination or anything that goes wrong with your cabinet structure. We offer that up front. And so we were just chatting about that, and I said, man, that's the way you'll save half the cost and half the time and half the mess.
Yeah.
For us to be able to come in there and get that done. So if a real estate investor is trying to do a quick flip on a house that's pretty decent, but that's the only problem, is the color of the cabinetry is what's throwing it all off. Like,
big time.
We've seen listings where the cabinetry looks fine, but it ain't fine for somebody what they're looking for.
Yep.
And when it looks a little different, you're going to be able to get better dollars, and they're not going to come at you and say, I got to give you $20,000, $30,000 less than what you're asking because I got to redo that kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, if you get it done ahead of time with a stylish upgrade that didn't cost you anywhere near that.
Exactly.
It's gonna benefit you in the.
But we just had that one. We had just had one expire that I had sent you to. I asked you. You talked to her. She wasn't ready to do it. She just. And I think the problem is like ownership pride. Sometimes
it's ownership pride, and yes,
and it was old. What was it? Maple looking or something. And
that's exactly a great point to
oak.
segue.
It was old
oak
wood.
A beautiful oak. To her, she loved it.
Yes.
And there's her first problem. She loved it.
That's right.
Because the guy that's got the money in his pocket that she's trying to sell this house to.
That's right.
He don't love it. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
So
he don't like it either.
He don't like it either. And he's thinking in his head, if I've got to change that, it's going to be big bucks.
It's going to be half the time, half the cost,
exactly.
more than half the cost, because
exactly.
other contractors are taking how long to do that.
That's right. That's right. And so what we utilize your existing cabinet structure and we reface that with all durable, long-lasting products, including doors and drawer fronts.
Yeah.
For half the cost, half the time, half the mess.
All right, stay with us, Chris. About Face Cabinetry in studio. Support the local economy. Support our show. Support these local expert contributors. 813-750-0550. Call or text that line. Any questions, comments? 813-750-0550. We'll be right back. More with Chris Robinson here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Don't touch that dial.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Let me know when you want to proceed. All right, everybody, please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. A couple of hot listings here. 12500 Hamlin Road in Spring Hill. Attention builders, developers, entrepreneurs, investors. This is a great opportunity. You've got 12500 Hamlin Road in Spring Hill, 41 acres. It's zoned agricultural RS3. So you got a future use there as well of some residential units. You've got well and septic already on the property and a great opportunity to develop and build. The property is listed just shy of $1 million, 900 and change, I believe. 12500 Hamlin Road up in Spring Hill. Great buying opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 5727 Biscayne Court. This is another great opportunity for a entry-level home, affordable property, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. You got your own boat dock as well. So you got bay access. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis. Just under 900 square feet. 5727 Biscayne Court, number 201 in Newport Richey. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we're back here in studio. We got Chris Robinson in the house, About Face Cabinetry. He's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to real estate. And, you know, what I like also, Chris, is we talked about different ways that you come in there. You know, you might be hired just to put in some granite on the countertops or maybe reface, do some of the kitchen. But you come in with a lot of options and other ideas of, hey, maybe for this cabinet, this closet door, you might want to do this. Like it's almost like a consultant inside of that deal.
Absolutely. And that's the target of what we look for is identifying ways we could save you some money. I'll give you an example. Maybe we've got your cabinets are in pretty good shape, but you got some really bad stained granite. So stained granite is one of those things that, the previous owner didn't take care of it and it needs to be replaced. We can do just the granite countertops for you. Or let's say you've got these really bad brown looking cabinets and you want to reface them white, kind of like what you're seeing up on the screen. And you've already got a beautiful granite countertop job. Well, the problem is if you have to replace all those cabinets, that granite is going to break in a million pieces. You cannot take that granite off and make it work with your new cabinets. Most of your cabinet guys who are worth anything, I'll say that, they're going to say, no, we can't reuse that granite because it is going to not be in the same position as your new cabinets are. And it never really is. It's always going to be a little off. So if you've got a countertop that's just already in great shape, but yet still needs something to do with those cabinets, that's the best thing that we could do is come in and reface to not have to worry about taking out that granite or that nice tile backsplash that you got. And then we focus on the cabinet structure after that.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you look at adding value to a home, the kitchen is the heart of the home. The bathrooms are a major part of it as well.
That's right.
And of course, people love that granite or even sometimes quartz.
Sure.
And you have those different options. But Chris will be able to come in and talk to you about what the scenario would be, and then you've got your in writing, your guarantees in writing, half the time, half the cost, half the mess. Talk a little bit about also the the franchising that you're doing, because I think
Sure.
that's interesting. People out there, looking for opportunity.
Absolutely, we'd love to be a part of our team. If you're more interested in creating a positive relationship with our clients, we want you to come on board. You want to call us at 866-9-REFACE. That's our new nationwide number. We have a brand new 866 number. It's 866-9-REFACE. And we would love to have you a part of our growing team. In fact, we're looking for location number 5 and number 6 for 2 new owners to come on board in our Lakeland market and also in our Sarasota Bradenton market.
Yeah.
And we are actually looking for folks that are more concerned about the quality product and job than they are concerned about that paycheck, because paychecks are going to come. Paychecks are going to take care of themselves. But if you take care of the client and your reputation, it's going to help you tenfold. And that's one of the things we've seen and experienced in our business, because we're an all 5-star rated company. All of our clients, they've never given us anything less than a 5-star rating.
Nice.
And that's something that we pride ourselves in, because we care about the end result and what the customer is going to get at the end of the job.
Yeah.
More importantly than we're worried about a paycheck, we're concerned about their time. We're concerned about the things that we can't be in their kitchen for 4 weeks. This is one of the reasons why in our business it's so underrated. They're all 1-star reviews for Home Depot and Lowe's, because they're in there for 6 weeks and they're without a kitchen for 6 weeks. Imagine now, if you're sitting here listening to the show and you can imagine being without your kitchen for 6 weeks. That is the average of cabinet replacement.
Yeah.
It's difficult to understand, because we're not thinking about 6 weeks. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's about 35 nights out to dinner.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, how that's going to work, you're not able to cook in your home. You're just going to get frustrated. And we saw the frustration of where cabinet guys weren't able to do what we were able to do. So when we started About Face, that was the main emphasis, was to do what other cabinet companies can't do and offer cost-saving alternatives, because as an investor, that's what we need, because it helps our bottom line. But yet not being cheap. We want to be conscious of how we're spending the money, but yet we want to make sure it's going to be most effective. So if you have a cabinet that needs replacement, we can replace just that cabinet and reface the rest.
Yeah, I was just thinking about 35 nights out to eat, the additional cost of going out and paying that, not using your kitchen, the stress, and you already have stresses in your life these days with all the stuff going on. And some good stuff happening, and you mentioned, so Bradenton is a market you're looking to move into.
Yes,
Okay.
Bradenton, and there's a lot of folks there that have some homes that are climbing in the 20+ year range, and they've really never been remodeled. And we've got a lot of folks that are looking to move down into the Manatee County and Sarasota area. So having that option available for us to be able to be there and to offer our services there. Because currently, anybody that calls us from that area, we're telling them, unfortunately, we're not able to service you yet. Because that's a considerable drive for our guys. And we have 4 locations to serve you now. We're in South Pinellas, North Pinellas, North Pasco, and South Tampa, South Hillsborough. So we're servicing all the way down to the county line in Hillsborough County, all the way down to Sun City Center, Ruskin, Gibsonton, Brandon, Riverview, all throughout there. We've got 4 locations in the Bay Area, and that's 866-9-REFACE.
Well, I'm speaking at an event in Bradenton coming up, so we should definitely talk a little bit more after the show on that. Final thoughts, Chris?
Well, I tell you
tips.
what, if there's anything that anybody can listen to after listening to the show today, and listen, if you can do to others what you would have done to you, it will come back to you tenfold.
That's right.
Making that commitment to do something good for somebody else, it's always going to come back to you. We know who the one is looking down. He's keeping score.
That's right.
And that's how we operate in our business. Our business is, we want to do that kitchen, that bathroom, that job for you how we would want it done in our own home, and treating you with that same dignity and respect. And if you can pass that along to other people by paying it forward and doing what we need to do, keeping the local economy going, keeping all of us going, especially during this pandemic, the best thing we could do for each other.
That's right. Awesome. I love that. Great job, Chris. Chris Robinson, About Face Cabinetry. Check them out online, 866-9-RESURFACE as well.
Reface.
All right, my friend.
Yep.
Oh, Reface, that's
Yep.
right. 866-9-REFACE. Good catch. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with Brandon Faust here in studio, Mold Zero in the house. And we're going to talk about, it's a silent killer. Sometimes it leaches into your health and your bloodstream. We've had some interesting conversations with Brandon over the past 6 to 8 months or a year. So stay with us here on the show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, a couple host delivery driver for 5 days after her car got stuck in the snow. Find out about this random act of kindness, as we always talk about here, out of Texas, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man, Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the Real Estate Quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253.
Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, thanks for sticking with us here. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We are hiring agents right now. We're looking for just a couple of agents. We got a plethora of leads coming in. Lots of leads, a lot of great team here. We talk about our real estate listings on our show, and we are looking for just a couple of good agents to join our team. If you happen to know of anybody, have them reach out, 813-750-0550. Right here in Tampa Bay, real estate company. We're a top 1% ranked real estate team, 813-750-0550. That's also our consumer advocate hotline for anything that you need. Home services, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, lots of ways that we can help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got a hot property listing in Innisbrook. This one's 36750 US 19 in Palm Harbor. This is an Innisbrook community. You've got golfing, you've got pools, restaurants. 36750 US 19, unit number 28, right here in Tampa Bay. Just a great property, entry-level style, price point on it, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, Innisbrook. Great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. See all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we got our friend Brandon Faust in the house, B. Faust in the house, Mold Zero. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. Always a pleasure to be here, Brandon.
Yeah, my pleasure. And we always talk about, a lot of times, we talk about, some of these hidden challenges that people may have. And, mold is a silent killer. We actually, and again, from firsthand experience, I always like to say right up, front is firsthand experience. I worked with your company. We actually had a new construction home, and I was surprised that we had mold in our home already. So it could happen to almost any home out there.
I think most people are surprised about, finding it in their home. And a lot of times they may take it almost as like a personal sort of affront or insult. Like, they don't want to talk about it, like we had mold, or they feel like we did something wrong. And really, it's not something that they did wrong. It's a matter of course in Florida, right? Because the humidity levels are so high. And not only that, we're constantly using our AC systems. And when the AC is going like it is, right, you're going to have that condensation from the coils and that cold air hitting that warm air up in the attic, right? So it's a matter of course you're going to have mold spores that get into your home and get past your filter, right, on a continual basis. There's very little way around that. So when those spores hit a spot where, and the spores are like seeds, just like you would buy seeds from, the grocery store, right? If you give them water, nutrients, and oxygen, it's going to germinate. So same type of thing that happens in the actual AC duct itself, okay? So when you have that cold air hitting that warm air, you get that dew point going around the initial part of that duct system, and before you know it, you have growth in your ducts. And then once you have the growth in the ducts, it doesn't stay there. It starts manifesting on the vents. A lot of people look at that as they think it's like dirt, and it's actually not. It's actual growth, and it's an allergenic mold. So a lot of people from coming out of state, the number of calls we're getting from people that just moved here, and they have headaches, joint aches, respiratory issues, rashes, fevers, and they don't know why, and they think it might have to do with their ducts. And we get in there, and sure enough, it's been blowing around the home because it doesn't just stay in the ducts.
Yeah.
And that's really where Mold Zero shines, is we work with different AC companies, but we do a whole home treatment. We treat the entire building envelope of a home to make sure that it's safe, and we bring those levels down. So, so the fact that you had it in your home is not a big surprise, even if it's new build.
Yeah, even if it's new build, it's wow. You think about that, and so anytime you have exchange between hot and cold, there's going to be opportunity for mold to be there, be present, and then we also go back to a lot of the misnomers that people have when they are. So you mentioned people moving from upstate New York or wherever from the Northeast coming down, and they might have bought a home that had been for sale. It might have been on the market for 30 or 60 days. It is a fluid market right now, but those homes sometimes are inadvertently left with the thermostat too high.
That's exactly right, and we've had that a lot, especially with the the snowbirds that they go out of town for maybe 3 months, or even like you're talking about a home that's been on the market for 30 days, 60 days, whatever it may be. But if they're over 60% humidity, they very easily could wind up with what we call a mold bloom, and that's where you start to see the colonization around the entire home, the entire condo. And it's far worse, obviously, when you actually have contents in the home, right? Because it starts growing on the leather, it starts growing on organic surfaces. But just like, the algae in the pool, when it starts turning green, you got to jump on it, or it's going to get out of control far faster, right? Because that colonization exponentially is going to increase, right? Once it takes hold, it starts multiplying faster and faster. So same type of thing with a home where you wind up with a full mold bloom because of the humidity being over 60% for, a week, or because as long as it's not dropping and it's staying above that level and it's not drying out, you very easily could wind up with that type of a situation where there's growth on everything. And that really is, unfortunately, one of the worst type of mold situations because it's not covered by insurance. It's not it's a humidity related issue.
Wow.
It was human error, right? And up until recently, and this is something I would like to touch upon a little bit more because, and maybe in the next segment after the commercial, we actually just recently put in place a system. It's like a washing machine, but the first major advancement in washing machines in the last, 200 years, basically. And it's a way of washing where we can actually get even mold spores and the mycotoxins out of contents, leather purses, leather shoes, China dolls, you name it. So we actually just put that in place at Mold Zero. It's one of the services that we are offering for the people of Tampa Bay if they did have a full mold bloom, so they don't have to throw out their Chanel purse or their Louis Vuitton bags or whatever it may be. We actually can get those back to their brand new state.
Treat them.
Yeah.
Treat them through that system.
Yeah.
Very cool. If you just joined us, we're talking with Brandon Faust here in studio, Mold Zero, moldzero.com. And a lot of times in the past, too, we've had Brandon on the show. We've talked about scenarios where people are, he's getting referrals from doctors. The doctors are saying, hey, we can't figure out what's going on with this person, and then it ends up being sometimes in the bloodstream. And Brandon, to me, that was like, wow, that's an interesting how that could play out. It just goes through the lung system, the respiratory, into the bloodstream at some point. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, you're talking about something that is extremely microscopic, right?
Yeah.
So you're breathing that in, and it's actually getting into your body. And there's a number of different, syndromes, if you will, that are directly related to mold toxicity. So you're right. We do get a lot of referrals from the different doctors in the area that are dealing with mold sensitivity, mold toxicity.
Yeah.
And if you want the sort of technical term for it, one is called mast cell activation syndrome. The mast cells help with the immune system. And then there's chronic inflammation response syndrome. I had a friend of mine that just called me yesterday. Her name is Brittany, and she actually has chronic inflammation response syndrome. And she just moved into a new condo, moving away from a moldy situation, and goes into the condo, and sure enough, she finds all kinds of growth on the vents, sends me a picture, and I'm like, yeah, that's nasty. Do not just get your ducts treated, because you're basically going to exacerbate the situation. If you just go in there and clean the ducts, whatever's in there is going to get agitated. Now it's going to blow around the home. You're going to make it that much worse for you. So you actually need to do maybe the duct cleaning, maybe duct replacement.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you're going to want to sanitize the ducts and then sanitize the entire building envelope.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just going to make it worse for yourself.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Well, it's an interesting place to be when you look at that. And if I recall, you guys are expanding. You're doing some other stuff too. Or you're doing the, because what happens is a lot of times it's a water event. It's some kind of a leak or burst pipe or some scenario, and then also the home needs to be somewhat rehabilitated. Or can you want to expound on that? Yeah.
So what we found is that most people would like to have almost like a one-stop shop, right, where they can have everything covered. They don't have to deal with it. They have one person, one company that they're dealing with. So where we came into the market really doing the dry fog sanitization and treating the entire building envelope, we quickly found out that, hey, look, in order for us to really do this the right way, we're going to need to incorporate the traditional methods of removing the contaminated material, right? Well, of course, that leads to, hey, if you guys are going to remove the contaminated material, who's going to build it back? Right? And then you go, hey, if we're going to remove the contaminated material, a lot of times that means that there's growth on the contents. So that's why we put the new Asporta system in place, which handles the contents of a home, hard contents and soft contents, and doing the pack in, pack out, right? So not only that, we also made sure that we were getting on to the front end. Like we always have like independent inspectors that will come in and do the inspection. Then we'll come in, do the estimate, really look at what needs to be done for the home itself, right?
Yeah.
Give them guidance, right? If they need an independent inspector, we got a great list of guys in the area, and then if we need to do either traditional remediation or just the fogging alone will handle the situation, we work that out. So then we get all that done. We sanitize the home. We work with different AC companies to do the duct cleaning, duct replacement. And then we do the content cleaning, content restoration. And then we'll do the build back. And then we'll also talk to them about actual preventative measures and different equipment that we can put in place in the home to extend the life of the treatment.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. And then I think you also have some type of a warranty in place for 1 year or something along those lines.
That's correct. Yeah. So any job that we do, because of how thorough it is, we can offer a 1-year warranty and a clean bill of health guarantee for the home. So really what we're referring to when we say that is that, look, we're going to do samples after we've done a sanitization job or after we've done an actual traditional remediation job where we tear out the contaminated material.
Yeah.
We're going to have an independent inspector come and do samples. And we guarantee that we will keep going at no further cost, right, in terms of passing that job. So if we don't pass after we've called for inspection, then we're going to come back and redo that job for free.
Yeah.
Right.
When you think about real estate, too, if you just joined us, Brandon Faust here in studio, Mold Zero, longtime friend of the program. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, Keller Williams Realty. When you think about the marketability or something that I can't think of anything that would be worse. There may be one thing than killing the marketability of a home, of a buyer finding out. Probably number one might be sinkholes, foundation, but then probably a close number two is mold.
Well, it's the worst 4-letter word in the English dictionary for a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
the M word, right?
Yeah.
So most people do not want to hear it. They don't want to talk about it. That's why, unfortunately, you wind up with some of these ways of ignoring it or say, oh, it's just that old Florida smell. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Or, we want a mold test. Oh, I don't know if you really need one. Are you sure about that?
Exactly.
Or property management companies or whatever. They just don't want to go there because of what it means for the price point, right? And also what it could do to kill deals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So truthfully, I'd like to tell the real estate agents out there that might be listening, hey, this is something that doesn't have to take, 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it normally has been in the past to handle.
Right.
In fact, in a lot of times, in a lot of cases, that musty smell we can get rid of in 24 hours.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we have to find the root of the problem. If it's a leak type mold, then no, we're going to have to dig deeper.
Yeah.
But if it's a humidity related mold, I can get most of those jobs, 95% of those jobs done in one day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it, man. Brandon Faust, give Brandon a call, Mold Zero. Check him out online, moldzero.com. And another great show. We had a great lineup. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
Lots of advice there, lots of things to look out for. Chris Robinson as well, About Face Cabinetry, did a great job. And Gregg BOWMAN kicked us off, AC guy of Tampa Bay. So we appreciate you hanging out with us, supporting the show, our Salem family, local economy, local companies right here in Tampa Bay. That's what the Consumer Quarterback Show is all about, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart. Reach out to the hotline and consumerqb.com. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.